Alright, boy, it feels good to be back out here on Lake Okeechobee. Water's looking good. Get to hang out with you guys for a little bit. You know, we've been on the tour now. It's 3 tournaments now under our belts and a bunch more left to fish. You know, I'm talking about a little bit about Pickwick. You know, Pickwick, it was a fun tournament, right? I did good, but that one, it stung. That one stung. I made a huge mistake. And I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna get real with you guys and tell you what I know. And a lot of times, like 2020 videos, or a lot of times, it's about what I notice after the tournament, and sometimes it's what I notice during the tournament. You know, winning a tournament, doing well, boils down to decisions, right? It boils down to decisions. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna try to catch a few fish. There's some fish spawning right now, so that's, while I'm kind of explaining all this to you and talking, let's hang out. It's much better than the office. Let's troll motor around through here real fast and see if we can't find a big old giant one on the bed and do a 2020. Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. All right, look at this grass, guys. This is all eel grass right here, crystal clear. Like a complete opposite of Pickwick, to be honest with you. Like Okeechobee is shallow, clear, vegetation everywhere. Pickwick was high and muddy and current. Totally different deal. But these fish are spawning. Now, we've missed the best part of the spawn, which was while we were at Pickwick, actually. But I'm hoping we can find a few here. I'm just going to troll them around real fast. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to throw a worm, speed worm on top. Maybe a top water, maybe a frog. I don't know. Let's see what we can find. You know, Pickwick's a lake that I've fished many times over the years, but we've always fished it, for the most part, in May and June, even July one time. So I've never fished it much in March time frame. So it was a totally different deal. Challenging, very challenging with that weather. I mean, really a unique event. It ended up being fun to do it that way, but I wouldn't want to do every tournament blind like that. But we did go in blind on that one. I'm seeing a lot of beds in here, but most of these beds are empty. So I think we missed the good bite, unfortunately. But I am encouraged by the amount of submerged vegetation that is in the lake right now. I've been really advocating for more grass in the lake. And right now we have it, but we have to be mindful of it and be careful with it. You know, treat it good. Don't spray it. Don't drown it out. Oh, this looks good, right? There he is. I don't think he's all there. Oh yeah, here he comes. Here he comes, guys. Look at this one. There we go. There we go. Hey, darling. What's up, Bubba? What's up, Bubba? Look at that, guys. A little speed worm action. That's awesome. That's a little speed worm deal. Running it through the grass. Nice little bass right there. Nothing real giant, but good fish. Good deal. Well, the crazy thing is I caught him so good at Pickwick the first 2 days that this fish I would have had to cull. Day 3, different story. We'll get into that in just a minute. But all right, that was awesome, guys. Pretty cool little deal. See you, dude. See you, dude. All right, guys, so listen, Pickwick. We're gonna get into that in just a minute. But before we get into that, I wanna say a huge shout out to Policy Genius. Policy Genius is sponsoring this video. Matter of fact, they sponsored the series, the Pickwick series. So if you're new to Policy Genius, you're saying to yourself, what is Policy Genius? So Policy Genius is an insurance marketplace, not an insurance company. You can get personalized quote from the top companies in just a few minutes. You know, with Policy Genius, you can easily apply online and compare your quotes all in one place. And I did that myself, guys. It was super simple. I went to policygenius.com, typed in my information, typed in my email, my phone number, and actually one of their experts called me and discussed all the different quotes with me online. And they were able to find life insurance quotes that were far better than what I was able to find myself. And so that's super important. The life insurance for me is important, guys. Here's why. The job that I do, traveling around the country, fishing tournaments, doing everything I do, believe it or not, it's a risky job. And if something happened to me, I need to make sure that my family's safe. Life insurance is very, very important, guys, and it can really solve a big problem if something tragic happens. And for me, In my family, life insurance is a must. So Policy Genius was a simple thing for me to do. So it's simple, guys. You can save 50% or more with life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. And you can also save $1,300 or more per year by using Policy Genius to compare life insurance policies. It's a no-brainer. So all I want you to do, guys, is go to policygenius.com/Scott Martin. Check the link in the bio. Do me a huge solid, guys. Check that out, okay? It's super easy. Check out those insurance quotes. Life insurance is important. They also do home, and they do auto as well. So be sure to check them out. And do me another solid. If you know somebody that would benefit from life insurance, be sure to pass this on to them. Let them know about it. Look, I don't like doing paperwork. I hate paperwork. Paperwork's like the worst thing on the planet for me. I don't like it. And here's the best part with Policy Genius for me, it was that they do all the paperwork and all the negotiating with all the top insurance companies themselves. I don't have to do any of that. So they fill it all out. They do everything. Thank you, Policy Genius, for making that process very, very simple. So thank you again, Policy Genius, for all the support on this tournament. Thank you for the support in this video, and thank you for making a product that's easy to use. So guys, do me again, one more time, policygenius.com/Scott Martin. Check the link in the bio, click it, check it out. Just let me know what you think. So anyways, let's get back to what you're here for, which is a little fishing and a little me talking about the 2020, what I did right and what I did wrong. See, that's why I need life insurance, because there's gigantic alligators out here. You know, let me tell you what else is out here that's kind of spooky, and I saw it one time. Pythons, 16-foot, like literally somewhere in this little zone, 16-foot python a couple years ago, swimming around in the grass. What if that thing eats me? So everybody needs a little life insurance. Everybody needs a little life insurance, that's for sure. Now, Pickwick, okay? Let me just break it down for you real quick. Pickwick, okay? Obviously, you know what happened with the weather, right? The weather got really squirrely. We had like these biblical rains. We had tornadoes, and the tournament department decided at that point, because the river rose so much and was really, really windy, to postpone the tournament a day, and then it ended up being 2 days. And so what that meant was we're going to go out there after 2 days of not being on the water and 100% complete condition change, 6 or 7 feet of more water, that we basically are going with no practice. I mean, this is like a start over thing. So when I launched my boat that morning, you know, and I talked about it in the other videos, really cool, is I made a really key decision. And the reason I made that really key decision, good decision, is I kept thinking about things, right? I kept dissecting, like, okay, I'm gonna blast off here in a little bit, and this is what I'm gonna do, and this is where I'm gonna go, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna do this, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna do that. I kind of game planning my day out, right? I kept game planning my day. And so throughout that process, I kept you know, realizing that certain things weren't as important as others, and all of a sudden I'm like looking out there, and I know that you catch them right out in front of the park, right there on that riprap, and the current was blowing so hard, there was a nice seam, I could see the seam, and I'm like, you know what, I might as well try it here first, because if I can find them here, I might be able to catch a limit right off the bat, and then spend the rest of the day trying to practice and find my fish. And lo and behold, that's what I did. I mean, that was the move of the event, right? I literally idled outside of the takeoff area, turned the engine off, put the trolling motor down, and caught 16 pounds of fish. And a lot of people think they're release fish. Those were not release fish. These were all brand new, fresh fish. What happened was all that current coming down from the dam, it just forced a lot of fish into that slack water. And it was a lot of fun. And that was a really good decision. So that's really where I'm going with this video, right? It's all about decisions. It's all about good decisions, bad decisions, and preparing mentally, right? We can prepare to get the boat ready. We can prepare our rods, but do we prepare our game plan? And for me, the first 2 days, I prepared my game plan spot on. But on day 3, I did not prepare my game plan. I'll talk about that in just a minute, and it cost me the finals. So not making a good decision cost me the finals on the last day. Now, what were the fish doing? Oh, there was one right there. One blew up on it. The fish, because of all the current, it was generating 180 to 200,000 cubic feet per second through the river, which is really up there, the higher range of whatever current can go through that river system. It may have been heavier at one point, but I've never fished it with that much current in my life. So those fish really got pushed off the main river. So any place that had a good area where there was a lot of fish using either the grass or, you know, maybe a bunch of laydowns along a shoreline, that current got so strong, it literally pushed those fish off those direct shorelines down into the first little breakwater. So if there was a little point, those fish would be sitting on the downstream point of those points where that current, that slack water, was kind of perfect for those fish to kind of hang out. So they would kind of wad up right there, and they'd feed pretty well, obviously, as the bait went by. And so that was kind of the pattern. But on day one, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I bounced around. Actually, I had 16 pounds. After I caught 16 pounds around McFarland Park, I left there and just went fishing, and I just kind of treated it like a practice day where, I fished in the back of some pockets, I fished some points, I did a bunch of things bouncing around, eliminating, kind of what I thought these fish might be doing, and I stumbled upon that bite. And the first day, there really wasn't many people doing it. And so as I fished that day and found several places that had good schools of fish on it, I didn't really see a lot of the boats, to be honest with you. There was, a few boats bouncing around, but nobody really, in my mind, it really wasn't a factor. I felt like I had it to myself. And again, that point right there is what I'm going to come back to in a minute on my biggest mistake that I made in this event. And it cost me the finals. It really did. And to that point right there is that the first day of the tournament, I didn't see pressure. Second day of the tournament, I go out and I run my pattern, and I don't see a lot of pressure still. A few more boats are starting to kind of show up on some of that stuff, bouncing around, but we're all moving and grooving. And I'd fish over here for a little bit and fish over there, and I caught a big bag of fish, guys, 22 pounds. Awesome deal. Caught a real big one right off the bat. Like right off the bat at takeoff. So, as a matter of fact, check this out. They don't seem to be biting, because yesterday morning they were biting. You'd have caught them. I don't see much happening. There's a big one right there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
What just happened right there?
I just boat flipped the freaking five in your lap. Right, that's what just happened. It's all over you.
I love the smell of bass in the morning, Scott Martin.
Yeah, that fish was big. 6.5 pounds. That's a giant fish. And again, that wasn't a release fish. That was a fresh fish that was just there, just got pushed down to it. But throughout the day, I bounced around, throwing the chatterbait was my main thing, reeling it real slow on the bottom. And that's pretty much what I caught most of my fish on. And also I caught them on a hollow belly swim bait as well. And I caught them on a balsa, believe it or not, which I didn't think I would do. I caught some on a balsa, flat side, a PH Lures balsa, as well as a Guggen Squad flat banger. So I did catch some fish on that, on the rocks and stuff up around McFarland. But once I got down the lake, it was all swim bait and all chatterbait. But again, day one, there wasn't a lot of pressure, right? Finding fish, everything's good. Day two, kind of the same thing. Here's where the problem lies, guys. Day one, I made a good game plan, right? And that was because I spent the night before, really I spent a couple days sitting around kind of game planning. What am I gonna do? What's the current gonna do? Where should I start? Where should I go? And I made a really good decision. On day two, I followed that up. I game planned, I tried different baits on. I kind of formulated where I'm gonna go, and I caught a even bigger bag. I caught almost 23 pounds. And here's the mistake, and I hate to admit this, but I'm gonna be straight up with you guys, that you have to be on your game 24/7, right? You can't let your guard down. And for me, we weighed in, we dropped 23 pounds on the scale, basically. I'm starving. I've got some old time friends that are come over to eat dinner that night. And I'm like, you know what, let's go grab dinner. We go eat dinner, I get full, we drive an hour back to the house, I'm tired. Like, I'm not thinking about fishing, right? I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about how tired I am. I'm just, for lack of better words, I'm just kind of like, I'm relaxing, right? I'm just kind of like, I'm going through the motions. And that was the downfall to that tournament. So the opposite of that, guys, is if I'd have got done catching 22-13 and instantly really started game planning right then, what am I going to do? How am I going to increase this? How can I win this tournament, right? Oh my gosh, there's a 10-pounder. Like, for real, dude. Oh, did you see him? It was like a giant one. If I would have got done weighing those fish in, not worried about dinner, go grab dinner. You got to eat healthy. You need to do all that. Started preparing for day three, right? Saying to myself, what can I do on day three to even catch a bigger bag? What areas had pressure? Where did I notice people fishing more than not. You know, like start game planning. What am I gonna do? And I did notice some things on day 2. I noticed a few people fishing some of the stuff that I was fishing, and we're rotating through a lot of that. And I noticed other people starting to fish some of that. And it's not like they stole the spot, or I'm not saying anything like that, but it's just, you know, over time. Here's what it boiled down to, is that we were all practicing throughout the event. So and I didn't take that into consideration, but as the tournament progressed, people started really honing in better on those patterns and staying with it longer and staying on the spots longer and not moving. And there was just more and more pressure developed on those areas. By day into day 2, I started noticing a lot of people around. So this is where I made the mistake again. I got up day 3, and instead of saying, okay, what's my best opportunity to make the cut? Well, how many pounds do I need? Do I need 15 pounds? Do I need 20 pounds? Do I need 18 pounds? I didn't even do that. I mean, it's embarrassing. I just kept telling myself I need 20, but I really didn't. I needed 15, which is ridiculous. If I'd have started day 3 in my mind going, okay, I need 15 pounds to make the cut, I would have fished a lot different. So I started off the day, I went right back to where I started the first 2 days, right there, right outside of Blast Off, and I didn't catch anything. And I kind of figured it was going to dwindle down. Even on day 2, I didn't catch much. I caught 1. So I fished there for like 30 minutes, and then I was like, all right, let's go. Well, take off. I run down the lake, and I run to the very first spot that I want to fish, and I'm like, oh, there's a boat on it. Dang, that kind of stinks. It's a pretty far run, too, like 20 miles. I'm like, oh, no big deal. I'll go to the next spot. Go to the next spot. There's a boat there. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I got more spots, no big deal. I've got about 6 or 7 schools. I get to the 7th school of fish that I have, and there's literally a boat sitting on it. So I literally can't fish. I'm not going to pull in on a bunch of people. These are all tournament anglers, and they're all in the top 50. I'm not going to just go rolling up on anybody. So I literally make a 25, 30-mile run all the way south, and I can't get on anything. So then I say, no big deal, right? This is what you're supposed to do. And this was a good decision, even though it didn't work. Not freak out, not panic, not have a bunch of excuses. Say, okay, well, look, I found these fish. Why can't I just go find some new ones? So I got my map out, got my Garmin on. I looked at the Garmin map, and I found other pockets and other slackwater areas that look similar to where I was catching them that I haven't fished yet. And I thought, well, no big deal. I'll just make some moves, and I'll find another group of fish. I'm sure I will. It just didn't happen. I tried like 5 places all the way back up towards Blast Off, and they just weren't right. You know, like I got to them, and they didn't really have the current seam like I thought. And they just, anyways, didn't catch any fish. So then I'm starting to panic a little bit. I mean, I'm not freaking out, but I'm starting to think like, we're way behind schedule, right? So I'm like, you know what, I better get gas, which was a good decision for me to do, because I said, I'm gonna have to run all the way back down the lake and try to get on some of these spots this afternoon. And I'm gonna need some extra fuel, because what if I start running low? I'm gonna start panicking and start, maybe not fish where I need to fish because I'm low on fuel. So I fill up, and I stop there again, and I fish down from McFarland a little ways, and I catch a big smallmouth, a 4.5-pound smallmouth, which was awesome. But I'm stuck on 2. I take off, run down the lake, and I say to myself, the very first spot that I come to that I've been fishing, I'm gonna pull up on it. So even if it's not one of my best spots. So the very first one I come to that's open, I pull in on it, and they're biting funny because of the pressure. And these fish are slapping the chatterbait, they're slapping my swim bait. I'm not hooking them, I'm like missing them. It's driving me crazy. And I didn't put a trailer hook on, which I normally don't put a trailer hook on a chatterbait, but I should have. And again, that was another mistake that I made in that tournament. If I would have put a trailer hook on, I'm pretty sure I'd have caught several of those fish that were short striking it, because I kind of barely would hook them and they'd get off. And so then by the time I bounced around, things were just kind of dwindling down, missing a lot of fish. And I caught one more towards the end of the day on a little crankbait. But really, really just never had a good opportunity to get on a school of fish. And whose fault is that? Again, 100% mine, because I should have taken off. I was boat 3 on day 3, boat 3 taken off. I had free run on the lake, guys. I should have ran straight to my very best spot that I thought I could catch the most fish without moving, and I didn't. And that was a huge mistake on my part. So the moral of the story is prepare, mentally prepare, right? Mentally prepare your game plan. Keep telling yourself, the tournament starts tomorrow, what do I do? Where do I start? If that doesn't work, where do I go? Once I do plan A, plan B, where do you move around? Like envision things that are working out, and also envision that you have to make adjustments so you can kind of formulate a plan, so you're not out there going, oh my gosh, what do I do? And that, again, is where I messed up, guys. So at the end of the day, still a good tournament, good points. you know, it was a lot of fun to be able to catch them that way. Kind of a new thing for me, fishing that current. A lot of fun. But now we're off to the next tournament, which is the Sabine River in Texas. And you want to talk about like land of the unknown? Like, it's such the land of the unknown. They gave us an extra day of practice. Like, that's how tough this place is going to fish, and how wide, vast marsh and labyrinth of little canals, and it's sketchy. So be sure to watch this practice video, because it's going to be like, I'm probably going to get lost and have to sleep in the boat. McCoy, we need to make sure we bring like a little survival pack, right? Some granola bars, a couple little packs of beef jerky, you know, some things like that. I need a sat phone, because phones probably don't. I just need all kind of stuff, because this is going to be crazy, guys. So thank you so much for all the support. Do me a huge solid. Keep dropping comments on the video. Drop a comment down below, and let me know what your biggest bass is, okay? Let me know what your biggest bass is. I'd love to know. I'm here on Okeechobee. My biggest bass on Lake Okeechobee is 11.4. 11.4 here on Lake Okeechobee. What's your biggest bass? I'd love to know that. And share the videos out, guys, if you don't mind. You know, if you go to YouTube, click the share button. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it on your Instagram. You can do all kind of stuff with swipe ups. So share the videos out, help us grow, help us get to 600,000 here real soon, and smash that like button, guys. We did a 5,000 like challenge for 2 videos in a row, and we have busted those up. So thank you so much for all the support, guys. We'll see you. Bam!